No, okay, good.
Yeah.
Good evening and welcome to the Doctor and Athlete Podcast, brought to you by the Light Group of LifeWave. I'm Dr. John Harmon, and I will be your host over the next 30 to 45 minutes. I say 45 because we have two wonderful hosts tonight to share information with you about this global phenomenon called the X39. We're going to shed a little light on a new
Mhm. Oh,
technology for activating your own regenerative and reparative cells. Now, I just want to let you know we don't diagnose, treat, or cure any diseases, and nothing that I say tonight is intended to do so. However, I want to ask you a question, and I want to check three boxes for you before we're finished tonight. The first box I'd like to check is in your
yeah.
mind that you can check this box. Does this technology work? The next box would be, can it work for me? And the third one would be, could I also share this with my loved ones and people I care about? I would imagine that your mind will wander to those people as you watch this tonight. We all know somebody, or maybe it's you. Maybe you've come to this Zoom because you have one of the thousands of different unnamed disorders that are a complex um, combination of dysfunction here and
Mm.
there. Nobody's been able to figure you out. So think of those things and think of those people, and then ask yourself if you could actually share this. We're going to show you how easy it is to share this technology tonight because it's not a complex thing. But I want to ask you one more question before we start. If it's true, if what we say is true tonight, that this light therapy patch can actually activate in your own body your ability to make those regenerative and reparative cells called stem cells, what could that possibly benefit in your body? That's what I want you to think about tonight. But first, we have two very special guests, and I want to thank Claudia Fields for connecting us. About a week and a half ago, I met Angelo, and Antoine is his cousin. He's going to introduce Antoine after I kind of give you a little bit of background. But Angelo, if you could unmute yourself, and I want to read a little bit of background about Antoine, about Angelo, excuse me. So Angelo Keys is the CEO of O3 Zone Sonotherapy Services in Dallas. He's president and CEO of and founding partner of Bold Warrior Inc. and a board member of the Watering Seeds Concussion Awareness Group called CAMP. That stands for Concussion Awareness Management and Prevention. A recognized expert in sports recovery and alternative methods for treating chronic issues, Angelo blends entrepreneurial spirit with a deep passion for health, wellness, and performance optimization. After a successful career in the corporate world with Federal Express and Mercedes Benz, Angelo followed his passion for active living and launched Bold Warrior Inc., an apparel company serving the fitness and athletic community. His diverse background from surfing and bull riding. I treated bull riders when I was a chiropractor, and their x-rays did not look good. And to motocross and semi-pro football, this has fueled his commitment to supporting athletes, first responders, and adaptive sports organizations. Through partnerships and sponsorships with groups such as Watering Seeds Organization, another one, I Am Adaptive, Garrett's Fight Foundation, Guns and Hoses, that sounds like firefighters, and cops, and
Cops, yeah.
Beast Mode for the Brave, that's Chris Kyle's foundation. Angelo helped raise awareness and funds for causes that empower resilience. His current venture is a product, and I got to scroll down a little bit. maybe Angelo could just hit OptiSurge. OptiSurge.com
Exactly.
is for helping men with testosterone issues. Let's just say that. Right? Welcome
Yep.
to the show, Angelo. Um,
Thank you for having me. I'm so honored to be here. Very
yeah,
excited about
I,
being on your show.
I want you to tell us what was your life like? What was your athletic performance or whatever issues you had that you use these patches for? What was it like? How was it hindering you? And then tell us what it was after you started with the X39.
So, as you mentioned in your introduction, I've done a lot of different things, and I've last count, I'm probably at about 21 surgeries.
Oh,
So,
oh,
uh, yeah, my body's seen and done it all. Okay. Uh, but the biggest problem I was suffering from was my lower back, and it was the pain in my lower back was just unbelievable. Sometimes it would take me probably 10 minutes just to get in a position to get out of bed, and that's doing the things that I do, the modalities, and that's what I specialize in is pain management and anti-inflammation, all of that. So I knew what was going on with my back was something that was eventually going to lead to surgery. The surgeons even told me that. But Claudia,
there's that
about
name
let's see,
again.
Claudia, we have worked together on a lot of different things. She's been a mentor. I love her, and she introduced me to the patches. I think it was right before COVID, if I'm not mistaken. Um, and I used the patches for about a year, but I did not introduce them to my wellness business because I deal with pro athletes, I deal with the general public, and I have doctors, chiropractors, and physical therapists that send me clients. But with those athletes, there's a huge trust factor, uh, as Antoine will tell you, you know. Um, so I didn't introduce it until I was sure that it worked for me. Well, lo and behold, one of my clients, he had a very severe back injury, a lot of sciatic pain, all of that. He had fallen out of his dorm in college like 12 years prior and never got any medical help. Fallen out of his dorm balcony, 2 stories up.
Oh my.
And he started coming to see me, and we were getting a little bit of movement. He just started coming, getting a little bit of movement with his pain. He said, "Angelo, you got anything stronger that I can use?" He said, "I haven't slept through the night in 12 years." And so I said, "Hey, why don't you try this?" And so I gave him my patches. I gave him the Ice Wave for his back, and also the Eon. And so that was on a Tuesday, and he came back on Thursday, and he said, "This is the first time in 12 years I've been able to sleep through the night pain free."
Wow.
And he said, "Can I please have some more?" He says, "I promise you I'll buy my own. On Monday, I just need to get through the weekend. I do public speaking." And so long story short, I got him on the phone and with Claudia, and she was giving him different ways to use the combination of patches. And that's when the light bulb went on for me because I started doing the same thing with my lower back. And it probably took about 4 months. And I started noticing wearing the combination of patches. Like I do the performance package every day, but I also put the Eon and Ice Wave on. At least I was doing that for my workouts because I train really hard. I like I say, I work with elite guys, and it's you walk the walk, right? How am I going to tell these guys what to do if I'm not an example, right? So I'm using this in my workouts, and then I start noticing uh, that I'm not needing to use the Ice Wave. So, and I'm waking up in the morning and I'm not struggling to get out of bed. This was, like I say, about 4 months in. So the light bulb starts getting clearer and clearer, brighter and brighter. And then it got to the point where I rarely use the Ice Wave. I only use the Eon because like I say, I focus on inflammation with my training and all that. And it reversed the issue that I have. I still feel a little with it, but I was headed towards surgery. I was doing the injections before that, and now I'm not. I wear my performance combo with always with Eon, and I'm good to go. I'm
And
good to go.
Angela, let's talk about that performance bundle. So for those of you who don't know, that's the X39 that I was
Hmm.
alluding to earlier and the X49. So you're a multi-patch guy. Uh,
Yes,
but and then the ice wave is specifically for blocking or eliminating pain. So
yes, and
as you
I
went
have
along,
stenosis.
you didn't need to use the ice wave anymore for pain.
Correct, correct. This is with stenosis, and that's the narrowing.
Oh yeah.
Uh, okay, so you know how painful that can be. And like I say, I do very strenuous workouts on a daily basis. And like I say, it's all I can say is that it's reversed.
Yeah, and stenosis is you have a narrowing either in the middle of the spine, so centrally, or the nerves that come out of the spine. And man, when I was doing chiropractic, we had people, their only option at that time was surgery. So you've been able to get rid of the pain enough that you can still work out. Is that what you're saying? You do your full workouts and all that?
Yeah, and I work out, like I say, I work out at a really high level. It's not a debilitated workout. It's not um, I work out at a very high level every day. So,
You
and I
kind of
work
look
with
like
athletes
that,
that
by the
do.
way, Angelo.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah.
Yeah, I can
And,
see it
I'm an
over.
old man.
I can
I'm an
see it
old
through the miles.
man.
Yeah.
Right. It
So
keeps me
you
going.
went from thinking you're definitely going to have surgery to you are back to working out your full workouts. Is that correct?
Yes, I mean I was doing it before, but I was having to modify and I was doing it with pain. So as an example, I do with my wellness business, I do four modalities that I stick with because we've had really good success with it. So I stay in that lane. And one of those modalities are the patches are LifeWave.
So you've incorporated that into your protocols there when you help these athletes and other people.
Exactly. And especially my clients that have chronic issues. I have people that have fibromyalgia, lupus. I some of my earliest clients were in treatment for cancer. So I have a broad range. I don't just deal with pro athletes, but
Yeah.
that's part of my clientele.
In in my clinic where we treated brains, Clearmind, Idaho is what I used to have as of September 1st. I sold it, but we incorporated the patches into our protocols as well because of the benefits for the brain. So obviously it has benefits for all parts of the body because, as I said initially, if you can elevate your own regenerative cells called stem cells, then what
Hmm.
part of the body could it help? Well, it helps any part of the body, really. And so, wow, thanks for sharing
And
that story.
I want to interject this because I
Yeah,
saw somebody
please.
ask the question. I place the X39 on the back of my neck as one of the recommended locations, and then I have the X49 under my belly button. But I always do the Eon on my lower back where I would have the issues.
Yeah, and that's smart. For those of you who don't know, the Aeon patch greatly reduces inflammation. And sometimes the inflammation is so great that the stem cells will actually die if the inflammation is too great. So Aeon is a very good companion or supportive patch when one is using the X39. Is your cousin there?
Uh,
Is he
Antoine, are
on?
you there? I hope he is.
Antoine, if you're there, can you unmute? Will you be able to
Yeah,
text?
I was trying to hit the button. I got it now.
Oh, awesome.
Okay. All right. Well, he
Welcome,
made it.
Antoine.
Yeah, I made it. I made it.
Okay. I'm going to introduce Antoine. I have to tell you, when I posted this a couple of days ago, one of my nephews said, oh my gosh, he's my favorite player of all time. In fact, let me just read what he wrote. Hold on a second. He wrote, um, I copied this from Facebook. One of my all-time favorite Steelers players. This is awesome, Uncle John.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and I have a lot of nieces and nephews. Well, thank you so much for taking your time, man. It
Yep.
was difficult just getting like 4 minutes today because you're so busy doing stuff. Really appreciate it. Is it okay if I just kind of read your introduction?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. So Antoine Randell L., born August 17th, 1979 in Riverdale, Illinois, had a standout college career as a dual threat quarterback at the University of Indiana. Known for his versatility and athleticism, he was drafted by the Pittsburgh Steelers in the second round of the 2002 NFL Draft. He transitioned to wide receiver while also excelling as a punt returner and trick play specialist. That's probably what my nephew loved the most. He played a key role in the Steelers' Super Bowl
40.
40,
There we
yeah,
go.
45, right?
40 was the one we
Oh,
won.
40.
We
Okay.
lost 45. Yep.
Famously throwing a touchdown pass in a trick play. Throughout his career, he also played for the Washington football team and returned briefly to Pittsburgh, leaving a legacy as one of the pioneers of the NFL's Wildcat offense scheme. After retiring in 2010, Randall L. moved to coaching, contributing to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Super Bowl win, and working with the Detroit Lions. He's currently part of the coaching staff of the Chicago Bears, where he continues to mentor young players, focusing on versatility, leadership, and growth on both on and off the courts. Antoine,
Yes.
I would like to ask you to do the same that Angelo did and tell us some issues that you had going on prior to being introduced to the X39, if you
Yeah.
could. And if you want to add anything to your introduction, feel free to do so.
I won't add anything to the introduction.
Okay.
First, thank you for the introduction. For me, you know, being a high end professional football player, you think you can do that forever, and that's what I always thought. Like I could always be Superman, hey, and go in the phone booth, change, be ready to go. Well, as you get older, and particularly after I finished playing in 2010 and 2011, that Super Bowl um, that we ended up losing, by the way. But after that, I went about, I kept training hard like I would normally do for the next, call it 7, 8 years. And I started to feel just a little different in terms of me needing a little more to be able to train. And when I say need a little more, it was hard for me to get past some of the old injuries that I had, the back pain that I had, some of the issues I had with my knees, and even in my neck area. Those things would creep up to the point where um, I had to modify my workouts. At the end of the day, I had to modify my workouts, and I didn't really want to do that because I'm very competitive, and I want to compete at everything, and that's not just on the basketball court, on the football field. I want to compete at everything. So if I'm in the gym and I'm training, and one of these young bucks come over close to me and they're trying to show me up a little bit, I
Or
want
your
to be able to
cousin.
go. Yeah, that's right. Particularly my cousin, Angelo. But I want to take it to a whole another level and be able to compete. And I didn't have the same um, go get it, if you will, that I had before because some of the pain was it just wouldn't allow me to do it. Fast forward to when I started using the X39 and using some of the ice wave stuff, sort of like what Angelo was saying. I was using those both because obviously I had the pain that was going on, and the ice wave helped me with the pain. Uh, and I slowly began to just come off the ice wave and realize I was just using the X39, and it was helping me. Like I didn't have the same pain in my back, I didn't have the same pain in my neck, and then my knees and stuff were feeling a whole lot better. So for me, it got to the point where like I got to use it, and I start using it. Call it uh, 2021, I believe, or something like that. 2022, when me and Angelo began to talk
Yeah.
about it, and he gave
Hmm.
me like, and I kept telling him like, man, how are you training in the way you are? And you're 10 years older than I am. I'm trying to figure this out.
That
And
took
I
your ego down.
and I know he was going at it, he was competing at it at a high level. And I'm like, he's lifting higher weights and everything. So I said, all right, man, tell me what you're doing. Because I thought it was something off the chain, out of the box. And when he showed me and started talking about the X39, and really, at the end of the day, the whole the ice wave and all, putting all those things together, I began to use it and I began to see the change. And over time, it just continued. I just continued, just felt better. I didn't have the pain, and I felt free to go out and compete in a way that I really wanted to compete. Now, the performance package, I did do that for a while, but I end up just sticking with the X39 because once I got to a groove where was for me, I said, okay, I'm good. I'm gonna stay with this, and that's what I did. And it's been a true blessing to be able to help me out on and so forth because now I'm coaching in the National Football League, as you mentioned, and I got some young bucks that I got to keep up with.
Wait. Can we
um,
can we tell them? Can we tell them about like last year when you would call me up before a game and we would place some patches?
oh yeah, so I had several players who either throughout the week were dealing with a certain injury. I can tell you, I had one player dealing with a toe injury going on, and before we went to because the way it works in the NFL, if you've been going all week and you really haven't been able to go, you've been on this list of, hey, did not practice on the injury list. We was limited, and then on Sunday they're going to make a decision, and it was a game time decision for this particular player. And he said, Coach L, man, I need some help. Like, what am I going to do? And for me, that's the first thing I thought. I said, all right, let me get the pain patches, let's get the ice wave and get it going. And I'll put them exactly where they needed to be, around his toe. And he got up almost immediately and on his toes and was moving around and went out and did a workout because you have to do a workout before the game so the trainers can see, hey, you can move around, no issue. You can go out and play a game, no issue. He went out and knocked it out and was able to play, show that he can go play in the game and had a successful game because he didn't have that pain to deal with. And that's just one of several guys who obviously once one guy heard it, all the other guys wanted to hear
Oh
about it
yeah. Oh yeah.
and be a part of it. So that's just one of them. And those things when they take place, it's a big deal. And then obviously everywhere I went now, even now being here in Chicago after leaving Detroit, and being in Tampa, and it's a good deal that the NFL players or really athletes know about it now, from my end and my perspective, hearing it from me and knowing, hey, this thing works, and it doesn't affect anything that has to do with you testing positive or anything like that. So that's always a big thing for players, professional sports players. They got to go get tested for different things, and this doesn't bother any of that. So it's certainly a plus that helps them out. So they're always looking, hey, Coach L, what you got for me from that standpoint. So I'm always
And they
trying
can
to
wear
help
them
out when I
during the
can.
game, right?
Say it again.
They can wear them during the game. They don't have to take it off or
Yeah, you don't have to. Yeah, it's not a secret. It's not like they can wear them to the game, and when they take their pads and stuff off, it's not like they got to rush and pull the patches off. Some of them go ahead and keep it on because you can have them on for up to 12 hours. So some of them just keep it on because
sure.
it's the rest of the day. And their day is still going on, and they still have this or did have this pain before the game, and now they don't. Hey, I want to keep it on as long as I can. So for me, that's a big positive, a huge deal for athletes. And again, I would say for the regular person, and I wouldn't say the regular person, the civilian who wants to go out and train and not have any pain and not have to walk around, um, and have to modify your workouts. And I think that was a really big deal for me, not having to modify my workouts and then go to a whole nother level in terms of training, getting back to where I was, or almost getting back to where I was.
So let me ask you a question. Who works out harder, you or Angelo?
Well, I
We
think at
work
the
out
end of the
differently.
I think at the end of the day, the training that we do is different. Um, he's more like he's a heavy lifter.
Yeah,
He's more heavy lifter, bodybuilding type. I'm a little bit on a little different mode because I do the training, but I do the movements as well,
yeah.
which help me with the guys that I work with on a daily basis. So a little bit different training. So the competitive spirit comes up at the end of the day as really how many workouts are you getting in during the week. That's
Right.
what it comes down to.
Right. That's exactly right.
You know, Antoine, as you were talking about these players who then could go out and do what they want to do, and they can still play, it makes me think of on in a different side of life, and that is the regular person. And
Yeah.
I was interviewing this one patient, and she was sick for more than 30 years, and doctors couldn't figure it out, and nobody could. And then finally, she got better. But this is my whole point. She started sobbing when she was talking to me, and it wasn't because she was happy. She was mourning the loss of the 30 years. She
Mm.
couldn't date. She didn't have children. And so, and the time had passed, and now she couldn't. So it's quality of life, quality of athletic performance, whatever your, the people on this call tonight, whether it's for athletes like these guys, you know, most of us won't perform at that level, or it's just everyday life, or you have something that nobody's been able to figure out. Maybe this could help. Now, again, we don't make any promises about that, but I want to thank both of you. This has been really very informative and helpful. And I think you're going to help a lot of people with this recording. Not only get out of pain, but also help their belief that something so simple, this little patch, could help. So
Yeah.
thanks a lot, guys. We'll have to have you on. We'll circle back and see what's going on in a few months or 6 months and see how you guys are doing.
Sounds great. We appreciate it.
We all
Yep.
appreciate you. Thank you very much.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Doc.
Well, what is this patch? Well, it's a little phototherapy patch. It looks like this. It looks so simple, and you can see the little white stuff in there. What that is, that's a crystal structure that doesn't exist in nature. I'm going to do a little screen share with you here, and I'm going to show you how easy this will be. Oops, I got to get that window on top here. There we go. So let's say you've been thinking about somebody as we've been talking, and you want to, first of all, find out a little bit more information yourself, or you want to share this. Sharing this is as simple as copying this website, whythelight.com, and sending it to your friend. And this is what you'll see. This is what they'll see. So lots of years of stem cell research was done before this was developed. Over 200 global patents. And for those of you who might not have checked the box yet about does this work, I just wanted to let you know that the US Patent Office is not likely to give patents to things that don't work. So hopefully that checks the box for you. So we have a lot of research. There's over 80 research papers that are written about this technology. So it's nothing that, it's just speculation. This actually really does work. So as we age, and I'm 71, so, I started to feel some of these things when I first started using them when I was 66, 5.5 years ago. And you start to notice things. And here's the reason why. At about the age of 30, the peptide that this patch elevates. I haven't mentioned it yet, but it's called the GHK copper peptide. When you place that patch on your body, it signals your body, much like when you go out in the sun and your body gets a signal from the sunlight that it's time to make more vitamin D. The patch has a very similar effect, reflecting part of your own illuminescence. We call it bioluminescence. It reflects it back into you. Same pathway as the UV light hitting your skin, but different frequency. It's like changing the channel on your radio and you get a different result. So this isn't a better cream. It's not a better pill or any other Me Too product. This is totally unique and we have a 20-year patent on it. So no company, nobody's ever going to be able to duplicate that. So I want to do a little bit. This is what you would tell people. Let's say you wanted to share this. Your aunt Sylvia has an issue and you've been concerned about her for a long time, and you call her up and you say, hey, Auntie Sylvia, I think I may have found something that can help you with this issue that you're having. And I want you to go to this website, whythelight.com, and watch this 3-minute video. So tell her to scroll down. And I need to make sure that I share my sound with you. Here we go. Let's watch this short video.
Light, the energy of life itself. Since the beginning of time, light has sustained us, fueled our growth, and shaped the world. Even Einstein recognized that everything we are is made of light. But what if we could harness the light within us, not just to live, but to renew, restore, and rejuvenate? As time goes on, we begin to show signs that things just aren't as they used to be. Energy fades, sleep declines, and healing takes longer. The reason? Our stem cells, the building blocks of renewal, become less effective over time. Since 2004, LifeWave has been delivering groundbreaking technology to help the body do what it was designed to do, only better. Introducing LifeWave X39, the first product in the world that activates stem cells using our body's own light. Backed by clinical research, multiple patents, and over 10 years of stem cell research, LifeWave's founder, David Schmidt, achieved something remarkable in the field of wellness and regenerative science that others, despite years of research and billions in funding, could not. The result? A revolutionary wearable light technology that unlocks the power of activating our own stem cells with a single, safe, affordable, non-transdermal patch that puts you back in control of how you look, feel, and perform. Here's how it works. Unlike traditional light therapy, which requires external light sources, X39 uses the body's own infrared light. When an X39 patch is applied to any point on the body, our infrared light is reflected back into the tissue, sending a signal to the brain, activating a powerful peptide, GHK copper peptide, known to activate our stem cells. These younger, more effective stem cells then go to work, enhancing energy, relieving pain, improving sleep, accelerating recovery, and promoting healthier hair and skin. Unlike drugs or chemicals, X39 works naturally, awakening your body's ability to heal and thrive. Whether you want to boost energy for your busy life, recover faster, or simply feel your best, X39 supports your body's natural renewal process, helping you live long, live well, and live young. No matter your age or stage in life, your body is capable of more than you realize. It's time to unlock your full potential, restore your vitality, and embrace a healthier, more vibrant you. Be the light with LifeWave X39.
All right. So that's the video that they would watch. And there's still more on the website. They can get more information. Light is information. All kinds of different therapies have emerged over the last 10 years. Red light, purple light, green light, blue light. All of these frequencies have an effect on the body. But here's the kicker. The energy that powers the patch is you are already making it as you watch this video. So the patch will capture some of that, a very specific frequency, reflect it back into your body and turn on the little GHK copper peptide factory. Well, here's one of the most important things I'm going to tell you tonight. That peptide has been researched since 1977. 27 years before the company LifeWave even existed, they knew that it had the power to turn on the genes that signal your body to make more of your own stem cells for regeneration and repair. So what happens? You get renewed energy, deep restorative sleep, brain clarity, natural collagen. It's known as the great repairer of collagen. It's also known as the emergency response peptide. So this regeneration works from the inside out. Here it is. This is that peptide. For those of you who really like a lot of research, I wrote a book about this, and it's all of there are 91 references to the research if that's you, but you don't have to do that. Just know that the patch works. And let's just go in and just dive just for a few more minutes about this peptide. I mentioned it's been researched since 77. It was actually discovered in 1973. And this is what they did. They took old liver cells and put them in a little petri dish where you grow stuff. Then they put the GHK copper peptide in there, and lo and behold, it reversed the age of the liver cells back to younger liver cells. And then they started doing what younger liver cells do. And they said, there must be something to this. That's where it started. Dr. Lauren Picard. It actually causes adult stem cells to start producing again, meaning it activates them to do their job. It also increases the younger stem cells for regeneration and repair. Huge benefits for skin and hair. Wound healing is rapidly increased. We have so many testimonials about that. When we say anti-fast growing cells, you'll understand what we mean. But here's what the research says. This peptide has the power to actually reset the cellular death cycle of some of those fast growing cells, and it actually inhibits some genes that people can be born with that predisposes them to get fast growing cells. And more benefits. Lung protection. It was the #1 bioactive compound recommended for the treatment of COPD. Do we say we treat COPD? No, but that's just what the literature says. Antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, brain and nerves. You heard me mention that I use these as part of my protocols at Clear Mind, Idaho, when I had that as my practice because of the benefits for brain. There's so much benefit for the brain that I had to break up the information into 3 chapters. Cardiovascular, 1 chapter. Skin and hair, 1 chapter. Immune system, 1 chapter. Brain, 3 chapters. Couple of other actions. These right here are huge for cardiovascular because it helps maintain normal fibrinogen levels. Fibrinogen makes our red blood cells a little sticky because you have to have some stickiness in case you get a cut or a bleed. You have to be able to clot. But if you have too much, now you got big clots, and that's called a stroke. It helps keep fibrinogen levels in check, and it also increases what's called myostatin. Without getting too technical, just know that helps prevent cardiovascular disease. All right, we're going to go back to this. We're going to scroll down. We want to watch just a couple of these really, really short testimonial, and this is what your people will see when they go to this website, and you can watch these things.
I was saving for my 20th stem cell treatment, and Barbara showed up, and she put 2 patches on me, and by the time we finished talking, I was able to lift my legs much easier. It was amazing. And so I canceled my appointment, and I've been wearing the patches every day since.
You know what was so astounding about that the first time I heard it is the way she said Barbara. It was like her knight in shining armor. Barbara showed up. Well, you can actually be the hero from somebody as well by sharing this technology with them. So there are lots of different ones on here. Let's just scroll through here. I got to get rid of that.
Patching, I had severe lower back and hip pain. My fingers were locked down every morning, and I had pain in my heel, making it hard to walk. I've been patching for 2.5 years, and those symptoms are gone, and I now walk 3 miles a day, and I feel great.
All right. So we wear these patches 12 hours on, 12 hours off. The reason we do that is the body gets used to things. I call it the bucket is full. I can't get any more full. If you leave it on longer, it's not going to hurt you. It's just not doing any good after 12 hours. And then you put a new patch on the next day. The company LifeWave has a 30-day money back guarantee. Here's what to expect. It's known, again, in the literature to reset about a third of our genes almost immediately. Cellular repair, brain and energy come into balance. Collagen is repaired. 12 months, you're feeling better. I'm going to show one short video of David Schmidt, our founder, and you'll get to understand him a little better.
In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. There is more information there than most people would ever realize. I was 8 years old, and my parents wanted to take me to the workshop of Thomas Edison. On the drive back home, I said to my dad, I want to be an inventor. Light, as it turns out, is the primary control mechanism for everything else that happens in the body. What if we could have an external electromagnetic field that would essentially reset the stem cells that are already in our bodies and get them to function like younger, healthier cells? What if in the process we actually found out that in a book that was written thousands of years ago, that information already existed? God has left his fingerprint in natural design, and that blueprint shows up in nature. The mathematical codes are identical. The implications to this are absolutely extraordinary. What drives me is that there's this enormous sense of hope that we can create technology to generate clean energy, that we can have foods that aren't genetically modified, and we can meet all of the needs on the planet that we have to, and that we can heal people.
You got to know the heart of David Schmidt a little bit. So how do you get these? Well, you can choose to just be a customer. I say just, meaning you don't really care to share these with other people. You can do that. If you purchase one sleeve, we call it a sleeve, that's a 30-day supply. The retail cost is $149.95. The company will give you wholesale cost if you do that on a subscription. And when people are deciding whether or not they want to keep using it, well, first of all, it's your choice. And also, and I say, if you're going to remodel your house, are you going to stop remodeling after a week? No, because that's when it just starts to get really ugly. Consider using the patch at least for 1 month of every decade of your life. At that point, it's always someone's choice. The way I look at it, if I can actually repair and regenerate every day by elevating my stem cells every day, and I feel good and I'm not going into the slide into frailty as I get older, to me, it's worth it. If you have made the decision that you would like to share these, this is how you would do it. All you have to do is purchase several months worth of product. There's no special fee. In fact, in these kits right here, this is the lowest cost any of us ever will have on the patches because they're less than wholesale. You can get what's called a core pack, which is a 3-month supply. You can see it's a little bit lower than wholesale. The further you go to the right, the bigger discount for volume that you get. And also consider, instead of paying shipping 4 times, you pay shipping once. And that's this premium pack would be more for, people who have clinics and they're going to sell them in their clinic. However you do it, get a patch on you. Please get back to the person who thought enough of you to invite you to this Zoom. If you remember when I first started this, you're probably going to think of people in your circle who are suffering. To me, it's our obligation to improve their life, extend their life expectancy by speaking up and just saying, "Hey, Susie, Tom, I think I found something that might be able to help you. I'm going to send you a link to a video. Watch this three-minute video." This is our system. There's no presenting. You don't have to work the 10,000 hours like Malcolm Gladwell talks about in his book in order to be good at something. You just learn how to copy and paste. That's what we do. So I hope I checked the boxes for you. I would feel very accomplished if you, in your heart, know that this technology works. I hope we've painted a big enough picture for you in your mind. Also, knowing you are a human being, you have genes, you have the ability for this, or the patch can affect you, can help you, as well as it has the people who spoke this evening. And then the other one, if you want to share this, definitely get back to the people invited to this Zoom. We have this doctor and athlete call every Tuesday night. On December 16th, we're shifting it to Wednesday night to avoid some other conflicts. So put that in your calendar, invite your friends. We will have doctors or athletes on this call sharing their story. We hope you feel enriched with this knowledge that you have tonight, and encourage you to reach out to those people. Thanks for coming, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Thank you for watching. And to learn more about this amazing technology, please like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.